Afternoon, lads. This week we're talking about travelling with film, my thoughts on it, and a few tips and tricks I've got that can help make the whole process a lot more seamless. So I've been travelling the world with film for a few years now, and I've got to say it kind of sucks. Like, it really does. Like, there's no good way to put it. It's great, like I'll get into, you get some amazing results, but the process of having to carry film around the world with you is horrible. Like, anyone surely that shoots with film can vouch for me. It is an absolutely detestable experience going through airport security with film. If you're traveling to multiple places, like you're going through a lot of airlines to get to your destination or multiple destinations, then you'll agree with me that traveling with digital gear is like enough of a problem, because every single airline, it's like, get your laptop, your iPad, cameras, lenses, batteries, everything, get it all out, put it in a plastic tray and do it at Mach 1, because everybody is getting through at a rate of knots.
This is why I travel. I love this shit.
And then on top of that, once you've managed to somehow get everything out of your bag that you own in your entire life in less than 10 seconds, then you've got to pull up the courage to go, excuse me, can you hand inspect this film? I don't want it to go through the scanner. And you're that guy. You're that one that's slowing the ship down. For example, in my experience, I'm not saying this broad spectrum, but when I was in Norway, they were the worst when it came to getting through airport security. Every single stop along the way to Lofoten was everything. Anything that is in that bag on your back, get it out now. That was every single stop. And then on top of that, they had a lot of CT scanners, so I had to insist on like my film not getting sent through that. Surely someone else can vouch you've been through this when you're coming up to the scanner and you start sweating because you're like, I'm that guy with like every single thing that's coming out of this bag. So there are obvious things that you can do, like you can purchase those sort of X-ray proof bags for your film. I've never used these, so I can't really vouch for them. All I can say is that they exist, and if you Google what do I do with my film in airlines, it'll probably say get one of these bags, but I've never done it. The other is a lot of the sources online, including Kodak and Ilford, both say that if it's under 800 ISO, most scanners won't damage your film. They might fog them if you send it through multiple times. Like multiple airlines, you just send it straight through and don't care. Like, there's a chance it could come back a little bit foggy when they get scanned. It's up to you, but those are the facts. One thing that I know to be 100% true, it's that CT scanners are the final boss of airline security. The TSA explicitly says that these will damage film. There is no getting around it. Doesn't matter if it's low ISO stock, it's getting destroyed. If you put your film through a CT scanner, it's getting wrecked. If you don't know what they are, they're normally big sort of tube enclosed style scanners. They've normally got blue lights. Like they don't just scan from above, they are a tube and the X-ray goes around inside and gets it from 360 degrees, and it will destroy any film you put inside there. So not only should you not check your film, do not put it through a CT scanner, that's for sure. They are absolutely great for security, horrific for film photographers. But for me, here's the real issue with traveling with film and going through security and worrying about whether or not your film's going to get destroyed. Inevitably, you are going to come across that one person who's operating the scanner that day, who does not have time for you and your film, and it's just like, oh, it's fine, send it through. We're not hand inspecting your film today. Now, the problem with this is you might be like me and traveling with up to 6 rolls of film. Let's say minimum $20 a roll, then you add on development, $20 to $30. So all of a sudden you're looking at $50 to $60 per roll by the time it's scanned and in your hands. Not to mention the time and effort and memories that could potentially get lost. We're just talking pure financials here. $60 a roll, 6 rolls, they go through the scanner, they're wrecked. You've just lost $240 like that. Most mornings you're doing this stuff, you probably haven't even had a coffee yet, and you've just lost $250 potentially. It's definitely not ideal, and it's one of the high stresses of traveling with film. So what would be my tips for traveling with film? The first is actually a purchase, and I only recently got this. And up until I got this, I was just putting my film in like plastic bags, little cases. It didn't matter what I put it in. Whenever I got it out and said, can you hand inspect my film? I just felt like an absolute nuisance. Until I bought this. This is the Lomography film canister. It houses 6 rolls of 35, or I think 4 rolls of medium format. And it's really good, and it's pretty affordable to get one of these. Yeah, as opposed to walking up with all your film in like a plastic bag or a couple of rolls in your hand or something. You're walking up, it's all nice and neat in a little canister. You flip it open, show it to them. They'll pass it to the right person. It's easy, simple, no fuss. Highly recommend getting one of these tins. The next tip is more so situational. It would really depend on you and your circumstance. But for me, I found traveling kind of less. I know that sounds so stupid, but I mean, what I mean by that is instead of hopping around like we used to do in the past, where you'd spend 3 days in this country, 3 days in that one, and that one, like you're kind of more inclined to do whenever you go to Europe. You kind of, because everything's so close, you kind of feel like you should just be hopping around and seeing as much as you can. But say, for example, when we spent an entire month in Paris working in 2023 or 2024, that was way better because you're there for an extended period of time. If you need to get your film developed, you can do it locally. You can pick up your scans. You've only got a couple of flights to get through with this anxiety of scanners. Yeah, and so traveling more intentionally and staying in places for longer definitely helps. I will say on that as well, when I was in Tokyo, I was trying to get some black and white film stocks developed. And they would say, without question, at every store I went to, that it was 2-week minimum to get black and white done. They can flip color in like 3 hours, but black and white across the board, I think I asked in like 3 or 4 different stores and they were all say the same thing, 2 weeks. So if you're like me and you want to bring your film negatives home, then this is probably a no, because most of the time you probably won't be staying somewhere for longer than 2 weeks. So it is quite hard to get black and white film stocks developed. But like I said, when we would do our month stays, for example, in Paris or Bali, it was way easier to get black and white film stocks developed because you're local, you're there for an extended period of time. That's just something to keep in mind. There's also the unfinished roll dilemma. So what I mean by that is if you have not finished a roll of film and it's still in your camera, almost every security I went through, they will hand inspect your film, but not if it's in the camera. If it's in the camera, it's going through the scanner. They do not care, my man. If it's like a CT scanner, you can plead your life away, it's going through that scanner. So if you're sitting in your hotel room the night before, there's a couple of frames left on your roll, you are better off to go out and shoot that, take the roll out of your camera, cop the loss of a few frames, than potentially losing the whole roll. So after all this, is it actually worth traveling with film? In my opinion, yes. Like it absolutely sucks. Trust me, I completely understand the anxiety that washes out. I don't really get anxiety, but when we go through airports, I'm just peaking because I just don't want to be that guy who's holding up the line just to get my film in hand inspected. But every single time I get my film scans back, I'm like, this was 100% worth it. The pain and the effort was worth it to get these film scans. And if you get your negatives back, you have them for the rest of your life. A physical, tactile thing that you can pretty much infinitely upscale. Like it probably gets beaten to death on the internet, but I 100% agree with this. Film also makes you slow down. You might only have 24 to 36 exposures a lot of the time, so you are being way more intentional with your photography, making sure everything's correctly exposed, good composition. It just makes you be a bit more of a photographer than a spray and pray person with a digital camera. Also, film can be like not so scary. Like it is pretty forgiving. Take this shot, for example, here. It was snowing in Tokyo, which was for us probably a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I was walking behind my wife, there was snow softly falling down, and I calculated the exposure really quick, but I actually forgot to change my aperture on the lens for the Olympus 35. The night previous, I'd been shooting inside of a speakeasy, so I'd been wide open at f1.7. So I was massively overexposed for this shot, but as you can see, it came out pretty good. Like the forgiveness and the dynamic range that comes from film is unmatched. I'm not saying that you're going to get saved like this every time. It's probably a combination of shooting on a low ISO film stock and maybe a higher shutter, but I definitely got saved by film for this shot, and I'm so grateful because I was fully expecting just like a white rectangle from this photo. So in closing, Is it worth it? I 100% think so. What are your thoughts? I'm really interested. Or if you have any tips that I haven't mentioned in this for other people who are traveling with film, maybe just getting into it, drop them below. Like I said, we plan to travel slightly more intentionally and stay in places for longer to allow time for development, allow time to actually shoot film and not be so stressed and trying to carry a digital camera and a film camera and like a vlog camera and everything around with you. You can just kind of go, okay, today I'm just going to shoot some film and enjoy myself, which is the kind of travel we're kind of aiming towards. But yeah, that's it for me on this one. I really enjoy talking about film, and if you are new here, be sure to hit subscribe because I'm planning on doing a lot more this year on this channel, specifically about film. We've got a trip coming up later this year that I'm going to shoot mostly on film over in Spain. Also, hit like if you enjoyed this, because if you can tell, being back in Australia is not agreeing with me. I'm sweating absolute bullets out here. It's so much hotter here than it was in Japan. But that's it for me. I'll see you in the next one, lads. Slàinte Mhath.